Good evening. This is another genius thought. So come on, let's be honest. This evening, I just want to be honest about the goddess aspect of what's going on with our women and the imbalance of their spirituality, as it presents itself out here to the world and to us, especially black man. Like what we're receiving from the goddess right now. It's an imbalance of energy. There's no excuse for it. We know a lot of it been perpetuated by an agenda that continuously seeks to be engaged in the way, in our livelihood, in the way we live our lives. It affects us. Whether we want to accept it or not, it does. But it's our job to intercept and continue to become greater than what we've been taught that we are, just by simply looking within, question everything. Don't be so quick to accept somebody else's words that's not in your best interest. A lot of people might pretend like they are and use material to present material to you that they feel like you can relate to, that will have that could accumulate some empathy from them. Well, empathy from you towards them. But yeah, the goddess is truly like in an imbalance right now. So they perpetuated the vicious and the warlike goddess energies. Those are being evoked, and it's being just over stimulated towards our women. But not the other goddess aspect, which is the more nurturing, loving, motherly. That energy, what they putting out is, the warrior spirit, the fighting spirit. You know what I mean? Like that root chakra type spirit. Just that lower level goddess energy. That needs to be interceded, because you let it continue to go on and on. It's just destruction after destruction after destruction. So that's why it's an imbalance, because when something is just all women, like y'all seen how that turned out. Y'all seen how that have turned out. Because that's going against the nature of things. It's about a balance. Male, female. That's how it was created, and that's how it's been. Even if one was before the other still came later and was a missing piece of what might have been before. But it's still that polarity. It's a balance, man and woman. But because from the masculine aspect, that's being pushed to be more masculine, and what's being pushed to the men is to be more feminine. Y'all see that too. I don't gotta get too far into that. You just look around you and you gonna see it, and you gotta understand it usually ain't be that way as the numbers go, because they still had low people, but as the numbers go, like it wasn't out there like that. Now it's like everywhere you turn, you seeing something, that wasn't too common. So let's compare some of these goddesses, right? So bear with me. Alright, I'm gonna go through some. I'm gonna try not to make it too long. I'm gonna bounce around a little bit too with different goddesses and what they represent, and why some people evoke them, what they can be evoked for. So let's start off with Hecate. Alright, Hecate is queen of the night, goddess of witchcraft, and among the rulers of spirit world. She is the queen of the crossroads. Hecate patrols the frontier between life and death. She serves as an intermediary between spirits and humans. She owns the ultimate skeleton key, the key that unlocks the gates to all realms. Although now most associated with Greek mythology, her name, meaning influence from afar, acknowledges Hecate's foreign origins. She may have originated in what is now Georgia, or the Black Sea, home of Medea, her most famous devotee and priestess, which, while their names resonate with a lot of women and why they always rush into the theaters to see and got a collection of Medea in their living room. Hecuba, Queen of Troy, is another well-known devotee. Alright, at one time Hecate was chief deity of Garia, now in western Turkey. The Greeks knew her as Titan's daughter and as their confidant and handmaiden, Persephone, queen of the dead. Hecate is a goddess of life, death, regeneration, and magic. She rules wisdom, choices, expiation, victory, vengeance, and travel. She is the witness to every crime. She is invoked for justice, especially for sexual crimes against women and girls. Hecate is invoked when justice is not forthcoming from other channels. Hecate has the power to grant or deny any mortal's wish. She may be invoked for protection for dogs or from dogs. Hecate is petitioned for fertility, especially for female children. She brings victory in battle. Hecate may be invoked for healing, especially if medical solutions have failed. She may be petitioned for swift, painless death. Hecate can banish ghosts or produce a ghost infestation. Hecate is exceptionally powerful spirit. The theogony of Hesiod describes Hecate as honored by Zeus above all others. Alright. It says, according to myth, Hecate once served as an angelos, a messenger for the other deities. She stole Hera's beauty salve to give to her rival Europa. Hera enraged pursued Hecate, who fled first to the bed of a woman in childbirth, then to a funeral procession, and finally to Lake Acheron in Hades, where she was cleansed by the Sabari. I hope I said that right. Cabeiri. Hecate emerged more powerful than ever, a goddess of birth, death, and purification. She rules passages between realms of life and death and is thus invoked by necromancers. Okay, so that just give you that's a brief description, of Hecate. They got a little bit more here. You check this out. Encyclopedia of Spirits by Judica Illis. You want to learn more about, they got most, from different cultures, gods and goddesses, but, of course, it's a lot that they don't, and there's other books that you can get, other topics you can read up on, and they introduce other spiritual aspects. But yeah, that's one. So that's Hecate, so I'm going to go to another. Bear with me. Well, you know what? Since they mentioned Hera in Hecate's bio, let's check out Hera. All right. Hera is the queen of Greece. In classical Greek myth, Hera is Zeus's older sister. He tricked her into marriage by taking the form of her sacred bird, a cuckoo caught in a rainstorm. She pitied the little wet, bedraggled bird and held it close to her bosom, at which point the bird transformed back into Zeus. Their marriage was initially very happy. Their honeymoon night lasted 300 years. sex was that good. All right, Hera was assigned the functions of goddess of women and marriage. Sexual fidelity, however, was not in Zeus's vocabulary. He had liaisons with goddesses and mortal women alike. His children with other mothers became deities and heroes. Hera is frequently portrayed as a bitter shrew. She pursues Zeus's lovers, punishing them fiercely and keeping a vigilant eye on Zeus, so that he is obliged to be extra sneaky when conducting his affairs. Mythologists in tandem with archaeologists suggest that there's more to this story. Hera was one of the most significant pre-Olympian indigenous Greek goddesses. She is Greece's primordial sacred cow and great mother goddess of matriarchal pre-Hellenic culture. Hera was initially worshipped as a lady of the beasts, goddess of abundance and fertility. In approximately 600 BCE, she made a major transformation. Emphasis was placed on her roles as wife and mother rather than her original functions. Dorian invaders married her to Zeus to confer legitimacy on his rule. Many myths emphasize her subjugation by Zeus. Much of what is portrayed as shrewish may be desperate attempts to retain her autonomy and power to protect her own children's birthright, as Zeus' multitudes of other children by other wives gained power. Hera, together with Poseidon, also an indigenous spirit incorporated into the Olympians, led an unsuccessful rebellion against Zeus. Zeus punished Hera by hanging her from the clouds with anvils tied to her feet. Depressed, Hera wraps herself in deepest darkness and wanders earth in the form of a frail, decrepit old woman. She always returns to Zeus. Let's see. Hera's name may be interpreted as lady or as the feminine form of hero. Alternatively, her name is not Indo-European and has yet to be translated. Hera seems to have first emerged as a primordial snake goddess in the Greek city Argos. Each spring, she bathes in the sacred spring of Kanathos near Argos, emerging fresh and youthful with a snake-like, freshly shed skin. Hera is described as renewing her virginity. This ritual may be in preparation for performing the great rite. Hera may be invoked in cleansing rituals intended to heal spousal and sexual abuse, as well as any past bad history. She is an oracular spirit who has the power to fulfill virtually any petition. Hera punishes by striking those who displease her with sudden madness. Alright, so between those two goddesses, you can see the clear distinction in the energy that they possess, and when they're invoked, what type of energy that the invokee might be looking for. So, it's different aspects that's not in balance right now. So you got a lot of what you see today, and I'm gonna go over some other ones because we're gonna relate this to how it relates today, and you can see just from the few I read how some of those aspects you can see in women today. They'll have this energy of those goddesses that'll come on them from choices that they made and cause them to be in the predicaments that they're in now. So there's a lot of stuff that they just need to deal with that they don't want to deal with, and the way out isn't blaming men for the choices that you made. And we know that unless it's by force. Like, if a woman ain't giving herself to a man, then he ain't gonna have it, unless it's by force. If it ain't by force, it's always a woman that's choosing. So, yeah, I'm gonna go over some more of them. I'm gonna go through some more of them, but it's just something to think about. And like I say, you can read up on these goddesses that we talked about. I talked about tonight. You can look them up and read them and see if it correlates with you, or if it gives you a sense of awareness, about where you're going and what you want to do, and if you want to correct it, it's up to you, But if you all living a reckless life, is just understand that it's gonna be reckless results from a reckless life. You choose to try to live a good life. For the most part, you're gonna have the results of living a good life, a righteous life. But either one isn't easy, but one do seem to have better results than the other. So I think you might want to choose that one. But hey, everybody not here to make the same decisions, because I don't think nobody want to live in a world like that. Which I'm not gonna get into that tonight, but just like don't nobody really wanna be in a world where nothing goes wrong. It's funny, isn't it? Because right now people ain't interested in anything that's all good. Like, you're looking for some bad in it. So if anything's good, people are always looking for the bad in it, because that's what makes it drama. But yeah, POR, under the radar. Be easy, be cool.